Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024, and today I want to talk to you all about the concept of principles over personalities. Now, traditionally, this is a concept that is used within the recovery community. It is primarily associated with Alcoholics Anonymous, and what it does is that it encourages people to focus primarily on the principle versus a person's personality. Oftentimes, if we get so hung up on a person's personality, it can really lead to a lot of ego conflicts and a lot of tension. But if we say focus on the principle of the behavior, that'll help us to offer more compassion, more grace, and also offer loving kindness and correction when necessary. Um, I have struggled with this because oftentimes I'm quick to just jump on a person's personality and how that's affecting or offending my spirit. Um, I'm trying to get better at isolating the behaviors. For example, there are people in my life who I realize that their insecurities are stifling my confidence. And what I've done is I've criticized their personalities as opposed to focusing on that aspect of their behavior, their insecurities. I realize that their jealousy tends to clip my wings. And this is why I try my best to avoid dealing with them. You oftentimes have people in your life who their insecurities or their jealousies will conflict with who you want to be in the world. You start to notice that it's not so much that you don't like them, you just don't like that behavior. And that's why I had to kind of separate the two. It's not so much that I don't like certain people, I just don't like how their behaviors interact and have a negative impact on who I want to be in the world. There's a lot of people who, they're not bad people. They're not bad people, but they're just not good for you. They elicit a negative response from you, their spirit. And there are people like that who I have to deal with on a daily basis. They just elicit a negative response from me because their energy. A lot of people, their energy announces them way before they even enter the room or way before they even open their mouth. Their energy announces them. And I pride myself on being an energy reader. I can read the room well. And oftentimes I try to correct my intuition when it doesn't require correction. I will reprimand my intuition because I say things like, oh, that's not nice, Lewis. That's not nice. That's not kind. That's not loving. But my energy is detecting something and picking up on a really, really unhealthy vibe and unhealthy energy. And so I definitely have to just kind of just be mindful of that. Definitely keep that in the back of my mind, take a mental note, and just continue to offer that grace, that compassion, and try to focus on the principles, definitely. But also being keenly aware of how their energy is showing up in my body, because I realize I am an empath. And as an empath, we have to create shields. We have to protect our energy shields and our energetic space from people that want to violate. And oftentimes they don't even know, they're not even aware that they're violating. It's just that they've gotten so used to being this way. It's become a habit. Nobody has offered that correction. So they're so used to showing up in the world this way. And quite frankly, it's offensive to our spirit, especially if you are an empath and you can pick up on certain things and frequencies. And I realize that I've had to offer that grace, but also separate the personality from the principle. What didn't I like? It's not so much this person I didn't like and don't like, right? But it's more of the principle, the behavior, the insecurity. I didn't like the insecurity because it stifled my confidence. It had that effect on my confidence. And so I need to, and this is what I need to do to protect myself, I had to do my own work. and ask myself, for one, why are you allowing someone else's insecurities or their issues to affect you? Why are you allowing somebody else's poor behavior to impact your mood, your feelings, your thoughts, and how you show up in the world? A lot of times, the best thing and the best gift that we can give to ourselves is to ignore people. That is the best gift you can give to yourself, because a lot of people are not worthy of our attention. A lot of people just want to disrupt our peace, our equilibrium. They want to disrupt it, because a lot of people also, they suffer inside. And as we know, hurt people hurt people. There's a lot of people who are pathologically miserable. And that's the truth. They're just curmudgeons by nature. They just hate on everything and everyone. And they don't know how to offer that love. Mainly because a lot of times people didn't show them love. So they just don't have it to give. They don't know how to express that love in a way that won't take anything away from themselves. They have this distorted view that if they were to show love to someone else, it would take something away from them. It would diminish them, which is false. Because when you operate in the spirit of abundance and the spirit of infinite abundance, you realize that no matter what you offer and what you give to other people, it won't take anything away from you. It will not deplete you at all. You are constantly being replenished. And that's the beautiful thing. That's why when you turn the chapter of the day onto the next page of tomorrow, you realize that it's a fresh start to write a completely different story. You are filled with an abundance. It will not take anything away from you to show love. But a lot of people out here feel like if I'm giving you love, I'm somehow taking out of my own mouth. And that's the deficit mindset. That is a poverty-stricken mindset. And the thing about it is this: when you realize that you have an infinite amount of goodness and love, you realize that it's just always replenishing. It's always rebuilding. But a lot of people don't feel that way. And so you have to protect yourself from those mindsets. And for one, it's about identifying the people in your life who have those kind of mindsets. You offer them grace, you offer them loving kindness, yes, but you also have to protect your energy, because when you're dealing with people with certain mindsets, ultimately, just by association, you'll start to develop that similar mindset that they have. It will undermine your initial mindset. And so I've had to learn that while I don't hate people, and in the past I've said that I have. Let's be honest. I said, I hate this person. I hate them. I didn't hate them. I don't know enough about them to hate them. That's the truth. I don't know enough about this person to hate them. Hell, I don't know enough about myself, because we are always learning new things about ourselves, right? Many of us don't even have a clue about who we are, but yet and still we hate on other people, acting as though we know who they are. We don't know anyone. We don't know enough about anyone to hate them. At the same time, we don't like certain behaviors, their insecurity, their jealousy, their critical nature, their low self-esteem. We don't like certain things about them, right? And that's what we need to zero in on. That's the principle that we need to focus on. So I've had to be honest with myself in terms of the work that I need to do, and also what I didn't like about certain people. I didn't like how their insecurity showed up and tried to undermine my confidence. I didn't like how their jealousy would unwittingly deny me the love, reassurance, acknowledgement, and support that I needed to thrive in the world. I didn't like how that showed up, but I realized that that's more of a them problem. That's not a me problem. And that's where boundaries come into play, also knowing that that's for them to work out, and now I need to focus on what I need to do in order to get the love, reassurance, acknowledgement, support that I need. And it's about putting yourself within those spaces that are organic, that naturally provide that, where you can just relax and you don't have to beg, you don't have to plead, you don't have to audition for these things. It's just a natural flow. And that feels good. If you out there have friendships or familial ships, family that offer that natural love, that natural, that safe love, it feels good. That effortless, organic, just homegrown, homemade love. That feels good. And it's really medicine for your nervous system. It's medicine for your adrenal glands. It's medicine for your mind. It's just, it's peace. It's peace. Peace personified. And I think we're all looking for that space where we can just relax and things are just easy. We're looking for that Sunday kind of love, that easy like Sunday morning kind of love, you know? And I think we can give that to ourselves by zeroing in on principles, the values, versus someone's personality and how it's presenting in the world. Because that'll lead to such conflict and turmoil for us if we continue to focus on their personality. And once again, this is a work in progress. I have to every day remind myself that I got to focus on the principle of the behavior versus this person's personality. Because I really, let's be honest, I don't care too much for their personality and how it's presenting, but I also need to focus on what exactly is the principle. What's behind that personality? What are the key elements, things that I don't like? And that's why it just hit me this morning that in certain spaces, I don't like the way that certain spaces and certain environments make other people. I think that with some people, if we were in a different setting, we would get along famously. We would be fast friends, thick as thieves, bosom buddies, tight like glue. But within certain spaces, it poses a threat for some people. And sometimes when people feel threatened, they start to behave in different ways. They start to become overly suspicious. They start to become manipulative. They start to become intolerant. They start to become insufferable. And so what you have to do, okay, I realize that this environment is creating something within this person. I realize that it's triggering something and bringing something up within this person. And oftentimes, let's be honest, a lot of the times it's a lot of childhood wounding. When you think about it and when you get to the root, a lot of it is childhood wounding, unhealed and unresolved wounds. And these show up in so many different spaces, in relationships, at work, in family life. You think that you have healed, but you realize that you have only put a Band-Aid on the wound, but it's still bleeding out, you know? So that's what I realize. A lot of times these people are still operating from these false beliefs, these distorted belief systems that they still hold. It's nothing personal, right? And I had to remind myself of that often too. It's not personal. What it is, it's more psychological. It's more unconscious. Sometimes people are not even conscious of what they're doing. They lack the awareness. And that's how I was able to offer grace to other people, because I realized a lot of times people lack the awareness. And sometimes, here's the truth, sometimes they know exactly what they're doing. They just don't understand or have the awareness of the true impact and the true full ramifications, you know? They don't understand the full ramifications and the full consequences of their actions, you know? And that's what I had to come to grips with. It's not that they don't know that doing certain things is wrong. They just don't understand the gravity of the consequence, or they lack an awareness of how that might lead to other things, the domino effect, you know? And so you offer people grace, but once again, grace, I have to say this, grace is not a permission slip for constant boundary violations. Grace is not a license to continue hurting other people. Grace is more of an invitation for people to come in from their ways, to come in from the cold of their behavior. Come in, get warm. Let us educate and inform you of how your behavior is showing up. Let us offer you that awareness. Borrow my awareness. If you refuse my awareness, if you refuse that information, well, then now you do know, but you're making a choice to just not do it. So now I have to separate from you. That's the thing. Doing all this is time consuming. Doing all this requires a level of patience that is very, very, very hard, especially in this day and age where we have to press 1, press 2, press 3. Your call is being forwarded to an automated voicemail. You're always being placed on hold. You can never get a human on the phone. So it's taxing our patience. It is making us find it very difficult to offer that loving kindness to other people. And this is when we have to take a step back. Because if our mission in this world is community and connection and forging bonds and building with people, then we have to make time to offer this. And once again, I'm going to say this again, this is easier said than done, especially when you are overtaxed in other domains of your life. At the same time, this is just, once again, encouragement. This is encouragement to do that as a way to foster and build relationships with other people. So, how to do it? Focus on the principles over their personalities. Focus on the exact behaviors that they're engaging in that might offend your spirit. And begin to ask yourself, am I taking too much of them onto me? You know? And once again, we have to learn how to, I think a tool that has been helpful also is planned ignorance. And this is oftentimes used with children when they're attention seeking and they're engaging in behaviors just to get your attention. You have to learn how to ignore. Ignore. Don't feed into the behavior, because the moment you continue to feed into the behavior with your attention, that behavior will grow. You want to starve the behavior. Just ignore them. Ignore them, and they'll start to see that that behavior does not get them the attention that they're looking for. And then hopefully, it'll stop. That behavior will be discontinued. But as long as you continue to feed that wolf, feed into that behavior, it will grow. So I hope this video was clear. I hope this video was helpful. Definitely like, share. I know it's been a minute since I posted a video online, but I definitely want to make an effort to be more responsive and to post more. So thank you all for listening. Peace, y'all.